All right, everybody. I'd like to bring everyone's attention back to the service that gave this industry its start, video delivery, and how we can deliver high-quality and profitable video experiences to your subscribers. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to cover how together we're going to improve the viewing experience, drive network efficiency, but most importantly, set the new standard for IP-delivered video. DataZoom is kind of like the Waze for video. Before mapping went online, we used to have to bring our cars into the dealership to upgrade our mapping software with a CD-ROM. But after mapping went to the cloud, what's made new solutions like Waze and Google Maps so powerful is their ability to gather information about what's going on the roads and in our communities in real time to create better driving directions and improve the overall driving experience. And actually, there's a lot more similarities between driving and streaming than you may think. A recent study found that the levels of anger and frustration experienced by a viewer who's trying to stream content that keeps buffering reaches the same as the better-known road rage. Enter buffer rage. But there's a key difference here. A driver trying to get to their destination who gets derailed by traffic and roadblocks, they don't blame the people who built the road. But your OTT subscriber who's using your network to get their content and experience playback issues, they do blame their internet provider and not their OTT service provider. It's clear that the cable industry cares a lot about quality, and everyone knows it. In fact, the OTT industry uses the television broadcast quality standard as what they judge themselves against. But there's a key difference here. OTT providers do not own the end-to-end network that they use to deliver their services to their consumers. They're stuck with simply measuring the viewing experience. They can't do anything about it. But you are all owners of an end-to-end network. Not only do you have the ability to measure the experience, but you can also manage it in real time using real-time data. Not only can you make today's competitors, your OTT providers, into your partners, you can win greater business. I used to sell video quality of service analytics software. And this stuff is great to identify that there's been a break within an end-to-end system. But there's a catch. The data that we get coming in comes in minutes, sometimes even hours after the fact. And we cannot use this data to improve the viewing experience. With the amount of content and viewers and streams on the rise, the strain placed on the networks responsible for delivering this content, your networks, will continue to increase. This is the challenge. Today, we're dealing with a delivery infrastructure that looks like this. We have data that's coming in from different places at different times. Critical paths of the infrastructure are missing a feedback loop of data that's key. We can take today's delivery from this, an unaware ecosystem, to this, an ecosystem that's aware and intelligent, a truly unified network, a network that we've created using real-time data. So you might think, this sounds so awesome. Why have we not been doing this before? Well, we've covered the first problem, which is latency. DataZoom captures data from the client side at the user's endpoint with a total of 300 to 700 milliseconds of latency worldwide. But the second issue is even how we get this data. Other client-side SDKs can take weeks, sometimes even months to integrate. DataZoom uses a simple copy-paste integration that goes live in minutes. Another issue is that if that provider wants to update their software or you want to change them out, you have to go back and touch code. DataZoom operates with a patent-pending codeless update that can deliver these changes without any code change. And the last but potentially most important point, other solutions that we use today dictate the data you can capture, the time frame you can capture this data in, and where this data goes. DataZoom provides a configurable SDK so you can control the data you capture, the frequency of this capture, and where we send this information. We've integrated with a number of data warehouses and analytics providers out of the box so that you can use them right away. But we also know you're using some new and custom solutions. We can integrate with those as well. So, my colleague Tony here is going to show us how easy it is to get started using DataZoom. Tony, take it away.
Great. Thanks, Diane. Good afternoon, everybody. So we're going to start on a point that Diane had just finished with, and that is the integration and the difficulties and sort of how long it takes to create an integration. You ask yourself why. Why does it take so long? And I'm going to show you how our platform solves that problem. So the screen you're looking at here is where you can create a connector. This is creating a connection to your destination where you want to send your data. Creating it is really straightforward. Hit the little plus, select an analytics tool, and then enter in any of the identifying information for that analytics tool. Again, this is your information that you're entering here. The second part of the process is to create a collector, the place where we are going to collect our data. And in our case, it's going to be a video player. I'm going to create one right now for JW Player. Let me select that from my list. And the next screen, I'm going to go ahead and select the events we're going to capture. And I'm going to deliberately just select the play event, and you'll see why in a second. Next, metadata that you want to capture, I'm going to select all the metadata. And last but not least, flux data. Flux data is a term that we've coined. This is data that changes throughout the playback experience. And so I'll select playhead position. And the last item here is frequency of capture. This is a configurable we'll capture right now at every 1 second. So I'll finish that. So we've created this configuration called myconfig, and it's generated this code, this configuration key. So what I'm going to do now is switch over to our demo player, and I am going to paste this code in. The important part right here is, if I can get this up, is this configuration at the bottom, this JavaScript. Once I submit this, this video player now has this JavaScript installed. So when I hit the play button, and I switch over to say something like, well, let's see, if I scroll a bit, pause a bit, scroll a bit, switch over to Google Analytics, you'll notice pretty quickly we've captured just the play event and that flux data timed event. I'm going to switch right back now to the configuration. I'm going to edit it. And this time, we're going to select everything. We're going to go all in. Next, next, finish. So now, the next time someone reloads the video player, and I'll do that right now, it'll pull down the new configuration. And video's playing. I can scroll around a bit. I can go full size. I can go small. Play with the volume a bit. You'll see all the additional information that's just been captured. Again, all of this is done with a codeless update. We've done this by making a quick change in the configuration to our script that is in a deployed player. Thank you.
Awesome. Tony, thank you so much.
Okay.
So, if there's one thing all of you take away from today, it's that your networks are best managed using real-time data. Real-time data can drive both quality and experience improvements. But more importantly, it's the best networks for IP-delivered video that will win the most subscribers. So come see Tony and I in Tech Stadium, and together let's craft a plan to help you become the best network for IP-delivered video, and let your data zoom. Thank you.
Cool.